Howdy, hey, how's everybody doing, and welcome back to Disney Daily. In today's video, I'm going to focus on one of the most popular crew members in the Atlantis exploration. It is none other than Vincent Vinny Santorini. Vinny is a hardworking and charismatic man who comes off as a goofball, but he is actually a very intelligent individual, especially when it comes to pyrotechnics. He is definitely one of the characters who gives Milo the hardest time in my opinion, but he does so in a lighthearted way. In the film, we get a lot of information about Vinny's backstory when the crew settles into the campsite on their way to Atlantis. Vinny reveals to Milo that his family had owned a flower shop. He goes on to say that the flower shop would one day be destroyed by an explosion. The explosion destroyed the Santorini flower business, but instead of mourning the loss of it, Vinny tells Milo that it was like a sign from God revealing to him his true passion, that passion being explosives. Now, although he tries to act like the toughest one of the bunch, he is actually one of the biggest softies. So in today's video, I thought it would be fun to take a closer look at the character that is Vinny. Now, before we get into his backstory, let's talk a little bit about the development of Vinny as a character. Upon researching this character, I found out the idea of him being a demolitions expert stayed the same, but originally he was supposed to be obsessed with opera. The idea was that right before Vinny would blow something up, he would put on an opera song and sing along. However, this aspect of Vinny's personality was abandoned. According to several sources, a lot of the development of Vinny was left up to the supervising animator Russ Edmonds. It is believed that Edmonds was inspired by sketches done by Mike Mignola, which featured Vinny wearing armor clothing. Edmonds said this look for Vinny made him think of a turtle, so he made Vinny move and talk slowly. Edmonds also admitted to incorporating stereotypical Italian behavior into the character by studying the Godfather movies. And ironically, the voice actor Don Novello starred in The Godfather Part 3. It is also important to note that Novello played a huge role in the development of Vinny, because as it turns out, a lot of Vinny's lines were improvised. Now that we know more about Vinny's development, let's dive into his backstory. A closer look at the file Mr. Whitmore shows to Milo in the movie reveals Vinny was born in the year 1876 in Palermo, Sicily, Italy. He is the oldest child, but the number of siblings he has isn't recorded. It seems Vinny has a very close relationship with his family members, his mother and father Humbert and Fabiola Santorini, and his aunt Rose, who he calls a sweet woman. From a very young age, Vinny had a fascination with fires, which isn't revealed to us in the movie. This fascination quickly became very dangerous, mostly because the young boy would start fires at random simply because he just wanted to see the flames. These incidents would then lead to Vinny getting into serious trouble and being punished, but that never seemed to deter him. Skipping ahead to 1891, Vinny's teen years, he would work in his parents' flower shop. And as we know from the movie, the family would lose their flower shop to the explosion from next door, and they were forced to relocate their business elsewhere. It was this incident that only provoked Vinny's obsession for explosives more. At age 18, he began mixing his own formula of TNT, and by the time he turned 22, he was a skilled chemist who specialized specifically in explosive compounds. Even as accomplished as he was, it wasn't until 1899 that he would actually become a professional in the field of explosives. He would earn multiple titles, such as a special consultant to Italia Bridge and Tunnel in the years 1903 to 1904, and demolitions expert for Sicily construction in 1904. As you can see, once he was in that field, he quickly earned a reputation as an authority figure in demolitions. This reputation led to him becoming the talk of the town and famous even to a certain degree. And it was that fame that grabbed the attention of local businessman Enrico Bentavega, who approached Vinny and offered him a job as an explosive technician for his private-owned company. While employed by the Bentavega family, Vinny disappeared from public sight for a couple of years. Rumors about his whereabouts only came to light after a huge explosion destroyed several delivery trucks that belonged to the business rivals of the Bentavega family. In the year 1905, Vinny would make a major career change and leave the Bentavega business and work for a man named Luca Aderio. That same year, there was a different explosive accident, this time involving Enrico Bentavega and 4 of his employees who were all killed. Italian authorities quickly arrested and held Vinny responsible for the crime. After this, Vinny spent time in the Milan's Delphi prison. However, he was able to continue his education in both engineering and demolitions. In fact, he earned a bachelor's degree in advanced chemistry in the prison through a reform program in 1911. Vinny's sentence was cut short by 42 years and he was eventually released from prison. However, his return to society would be short-lived, because a year later he would be imprisoned in Turkey, and it would be the eccentric Mr. Whitmore who would would bust him out. The unconventional millionaire wanted Vinny to be a part of the special expedition to Iceland to retrieve the shepherd's journal. This was a journey led by Milo's grandfather and Mr. Whitmore's best friend, Thaddeus Thatch. After this exploration, he would then be asked to return for a second expedition, this time to search for the lost city of Atlantis alongside Milo Thatch, Thaddeus's grandson. Well, that concludes this episode of Disney Daily. Please let me know whose backstory from Atlantis you would like to hear next. As always, thanks for being my guest here at Disney Daily. Until next time.